All right, today we're going to talk about a new tool from Google that could seriously change how we bring ideas to life. We're going to start in their latest AI playground, then we'll trace the, get this, 2-decade journey that made it all possible, tackle some of the very real, very public challenges Google is facing, and then get a pretty wild glimpse of their vision for our future.
Okay, let's just start with a question that I think everybody has struggled with. You get that spark, right? That flash of inspiration for a new project, a business idea, maybe just redoing your living room. But then what? How do you actually get that idea out of your head and into the real world? That gap between the idea and the execution, it can feel like a canyon.
Well, Google is rolling out what they think is a new answer. It's a tool called Mixboard, and it's designed specifically to be a bridge over that canyon, to completely change the game when it comes to making our ideas tangible.
So, what is this thing, really? Let's pull back the curtain on this new creative playground, Google's Mixboard.
The easiest way to think about it is like a magic mood board. Seriously. You just describe what you're imagining in plain English, a cozy, mid-century modern living room with tons of natural light, and boom, it just conjures up this entire visual world for you to play around in, to tweak, and to really refine your vision.
That sounds pretty incredible, right? Almost too good to be true. So how does it actually work? Let's take a look at the technology that's making all this happen.
What's really cool here is that it's a two-part system. First, you've got the brain, which is Gemini 2.5 Flash. It's what's called a multimodal AI, which is just a fancy way of saying it doesn't just understand text. It gets images, it gets context, it gets the whole vibe of your idea. And then you have the magic wand, a model with the absolutely fantastic name Nano Banana, that generates and edits all the images in real time as you talk to it.
And they've made it ridiculously easy to get started. You can just type out an idea from scratch, you can pick a template that's already there and build on it, or you can even upload your own photos and have the AI work with them. The whole point is to just knock down any barrier that's standing between you and your creativity.
And believe me, this isn't some niche little tool. The scale here is kind of mind-blowing. Since this Nano Banana tech was rolled into other Google products, users have already generated over 5 billion images. Let that sink in. The hunger for this kind of creative tool is just off the charts.
But here's the thing. A tool this powerful and this intuitive didn't just appear out of thin air. To really understand what we're looking at, we have to rewind the clock and look at a journey Google has been on for more than 20 years.
It all started with things that are so common now we don't even think of them as AI, like spell check way back in 2001. From there, it was just this methodical, step-by-step build, creating the Google Brain team, acquiring the absolute geniuses at DeepMind, and of course, that legendary AlphaGo match that proved to the world an AI could master a game of intuition. But if you had to point to one single moment, one breakthrough that changed everything, it's this. This 2017 research paper, Attention is All You Need, introduced what's called the transformer. Before this, AI was pretty bad at understanding context in long sentences. The transformer gave it the ability to weigh how important different words are to each other. And that became the engine that runs basically every single modern AI you've ever used. It was a total paradigm shift.
So, Google has this incredible, world-changing technology. But, and this is a big but, putting that technology out into the real world has created this really complicated story of both unbelievable promise and some pretty serious peril.
In this slide, it just perfectly captures that paradox. On the one hand, you have experts and benchmarks saying that the core technology like Gemini 2.5 is the best in the world. It's top of the class. But on the other hand, when you plug that same tech into Google Search, you get AI overviews telling people to put glue on their pizza. It's a wild contrast.
And we're not just talking about a few funny screenshots that went viral. The data shows there's a real trust problem brewing. More than 71% of people say they've seen a major mistake in one of these AI overviews. The biggest problem by far, just plain wrong information, followed by advice that could actually be harmful.
So what's going on here? Well, this problem has a name. AI hallucinations. It's this bizarre tendency for an AI to just make things up, but to state them with absolute confidence, like it's a fact. And this isn't some rare bug, it's a fundamental challenge with the technology today. Studies show that flat-out factual errors show up in more than a quarter of all chatbot answers.
Now, despite these very public, very real growing pains, Google is not slowing down. Not at all. In fact, they are pushing full steam ahead into an even more ambitious future, an era they call agentic.
So what on earth is agentic AI? Think of it this way.
The AI we have now is reactive. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Agentic AI is proactive. It doesn't just answer you, it acts for you. It plans, it executes multi-step tasks to help you achieve a goal, all with way less input from you. It's a shift from a tool to a teammate.
And if you think this is some far-off sci-fi concept, think again. It's already happening inside Google's own walls. Right now, a full quarter, 1/4 of all new computer code at Google is written by an AI first, and then it's just reviewed and approved by a human engineer. That is a massive level of integration already.
The ultimate vision for all this, the big North Star, is something called Project Astra. The idea is to have a universal AI assistant that's just always there, on your phone, in your glasses, constantly seeing what you're seeing, and proactively jumping in to help before you even think to ask.
And all this immense power isn't just for consumer gadgets. Google is aiming this technology at some of humanity's biggest, most complex challenges. Using AlphaFold, they basically solve the protein folding problem, which is a monumental breakthrough that's supercharging drug discovery. They're finding new pathways for cancer therapies, they're tracking wildfires from space, and they're predicting floods for hundreds of millions of people. The potential for good here is just staggering.
So that brings us right back to the beginning. Google is building this incredible, powerful playground of tools that are becoming more and more autonomous. The technology is absolutely breathtaking, but it leaves us staring at what might be the most important question of our time. As these systems become true agents acting in our world, how do we make absolutely sure that they are designed to amplify the best parts of our humanity, our creativity, our judgment, our empathy, instead of replacing them?